It's a Christmas miracle. I went live 2 minutes earlier than I was scheduled to. What a glorious Christmas present that is for you. I was sitting down, I scheduled to go live at 8. I thought, there's only one person waiting to watch me go live anyway. I don't think those notices do a heck of a lot. I never get 5 or 10 or 20 people waiting for me to go live. So usually my audience doesn't start growing until I push go live. Merry Christmas, Lori. So, and this is going to be very fascinating to you. I know you guys need to know this. I'm sitting down on my bed. I'm going, well, it's kind of cool-ish. Why don't we go live now? I can't handle the anticipation and the enthusiasm and the excitement I have for this special version of Coffee with Ken, this Christmas Day Coffee with Ken. Am I gonna need a sweatshirt? Is it okay to be just walking around in a t-shirt on a overcast Christmas day? It's odd, most of the snow is melted out there. We had so much, I don't know, just a month ago. I got the coffee just brewing up in my kitchen. I'm a little embarrassed about my house. Embarrassed might be way overstating it. But I'll just show you. There's things, like on my counter, there's mail. There's several coffee mugs in a Green Bay Packer box. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that Green Bay Packer box. But it's like such a solid material. I feel kind of bad throwing it away, even though it does say Go Pack Go. But it'll always remind me of my time in Wisconsin. So I'll do something with it. But either way, my apartment's not quite as clean as I'd like it to be. Or as well lit right now. Don't worry, I am forgiven. That's what it looks like out my window. Kind of wet, quiet. There's a couple cars out in that parking lot, but no real cars on the street. My one Christmas ornament given to me by the ladies at Harbor House. Good morning, Randy. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Devin. Good morning, young and powerful. And if I have another Christmas-themed thing, it's my little Jesus. It's so hard for me to not call him baby Jesus. Do you know why? Because he's so little. But he's not a baby Jesus at all. He's just a little grown-up Jesus. Watched The Passion of the Christ last night. Surprised I didn't have nightmares or trauma from it during the night. Very hard to watch. Very, gruesome and little speaking. I got some inspiration just from Jesus' strength. Again, it should be easy for him, because he's the Son of God, I guess, to have faith. But again, he knew he was taking some serious, grotesque, agonizingly long torture. And he looked up to God and said, I'm ready. And then it began. And I'm sure, this wasn't necessarily the way it went down, but did not cry out. An occasional groan and moan. I would have been agonizingly going, it was horrific. I didn't want to think about it, but it was horrific. I'm gonna grab my coffee. Put my water over here. And I'm gonna grab this and head on over this way and see what I wanna watch or listen to as I do my show. Oh. So, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Thursday morning. Oh, it's not just Thursday morning. It is also Christmas morning. Merry Christmas. It is 8:04. And it's Tuesday morning. And it's December 25th. That was weird. I was confused. I knew there were 3 parts to that segment in my intro, and I couldn't remember what the third part was. I don't normally just say the day of the week. I always say the date as well. But because I'd already said it's Christmas, I kind of figured the date would be assumed. Let me say, there's a channel called Christmas Worship Ambiance. Oh, this is lovely. For anyone that doesn't think I said I should get a tree or wrap presents, take a look at that. I mean, I'm serious. I talk a lot about mental stuff. Well, first of all, that says Philippians 2:13, for it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose. But either way, I talk a lot about your reality, your thoughts being your reality and what you focus on and stuff like that. And I know it's not real. I know the Christmas tree's not there. I know the presents aren't there, and the stockings aren't hung by the fireplace. But you kind of can imagine they are. Wonder what Santa brought for me and those sweet presents over there. Romans 10:4. Christ is the culmination of the law, so that there may be righteousness for everyone who believes. Yeah. I mean, part of me feels I could just sit here, drink my coffee, not do any great content creating really effort, and just as they scroll out verses from the Bible, read them to you. That could be my special Christmas version of Coffee with Ken, while sipping my coffee, of course. I probably have too big of a mouth to contain myself and to remain quiet and just read biblical passages. But while they're coming out, I'm going to keep reading them. Mark 12:13. Later they sent home of the Pharisees and Herodians to Jesus. Later they sent some of the Pharisees and Herodians to Jesus to catch him in his words. It interests me because, I mean, I saw him do it, and that was clearly obviously it's in the Bible and in the Chosen, but I wouldn't think that's, that's just kind of one line from the Bible. It's not, I wouldn't say that line specifically touches my spirituality. A Merry Christmas wish for Ken, the finest man no, not the finest man of all, but I appreciate it. May joy and laughter all your home, and festive spirits call. Well, thank you. I love the wishes. I'm not the finest man of all, but I appreciate it very much. Am I visiting family today? No. I don't know if I'm going to get out of my apartment. I'm not sure I'm going to get out of my apartment. I'm sure I will. But most of my places I go to are probably closed today. I know the YMCA that I enjoy so much is closed. My jobs are closed. Starbucks might be open today. I kind of feel bad for the employees of Starbucks that have to work on like the big holidays, the Christmas and the Thanksgiving. And I've done jobs that have to work on such days. And just the fact that I don't go, I mean, I almost feel like I don't go so they won't have to be there, but I mean, they'll have to be there anyway. I could go and spread a little Christmas cheer, throw a couple bucks in the tip thing, be super friendly, kind of normal me. So I might leave my apartment if there's a Starbucks open today. How is my morning? It's just getting going, Pennywise. I'm just started off. I'm reading a couple passages. Hold on. Acts 11. Ooh, darn it, I lost it. It'll come back. But I'm just waking up. I slept in. Had a nice day yesterday. And I ended up watching The Passion of the Christ, which was moving. And I was ready for. And again, watching Jesus take the beatings and the abuse and go through what he went through with strength and confidence and faith gave me some inspiration. Ephesians 3:11, according to his eternal purpose that he accomplished in Christ Jesus our Lord. That doesn't seem enough for me. I need more context for that line. I'll read it again. According to his eternal purpose that he accomplished in Christ Jesus our Lord. I guess I'm not meant to understand everything. Ooh, I forgot to light my candle. But anyway, Coffee with Ken is a show I have done for quite some time. It is a show about me talking. It is a show about me sharing some feelings, kind of sharing a little bit about the ups and downs we have in life. Kind of sharing the adventure of one man's life. But for those that have been watching a while, you know this is not just a show about me talking. You know it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me, and I am so excited to have my first sip at this, for me, fairly late hour, because again, I slept in. My hope on this Christmas day is that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to you. Cheers to us, I guess. Oh, I felt myself kind of going back like this. Like a pelican slurping down a fish or a sardine or whatever the heck pelicans eat. Flamingos are the pink thing and pelicans are kind of the white thing with the big roll, right? I think so. Philippians 2:5. In your relationships with one another, have the same attitude of mind Jesus Christ had. Let's back up a little bit. We got a lot of comments, which I appreciate. 55 saw my recap of it, definitely intense. Yeah, you know, it was weird because I've talked about it before. I watched The Chosen, and The Chosen is, I've seen every episode through season 5, ends with Jesus in this bluish lit, foggy area with 3 of his disciples falling asleep on him and going through doubts and questions and thoughts and communicating with God. And then as soon as he's leaving, the Romans come with Judas and Judas kisses him. And that's exactly where The Chosen ended in season 5. and exactly where the Passion of the Christ starts. So I almost feel I've completed the whole story, but with different lead characters in different darkness. I'll tell you, it's going to be harder watching my man Jesus from Chosen go through that because after 5 seasons, he's and he does a lot of ads on social media for Hallow the app, and I almost feel I know him as a person now. He's almost disappointingly, he's losing his Jesusness, and he's what's his name? Do you guys know his name? I forget his name. I forget his name. John Romey or something like that. The actor that plays Jesus in The Chosen. Jonathan, I think his name was. But anyway, you feel you really get to know him as while you're watching The Chosen, and he's kind of a friendly guy. He'll tell a joke now and again, and you really like him as a character versus the Jesus that was played last night. You don't have the opportunity to know over the several months that lead up to that moment. They do a little flashbacks now and again, and he seems, but I mean, he's getting beaten almost from from 5 to 10 minutes in. It's just yuckiness of him getting punched in the face and beaten. So it'd be hard for him to have that joyousness. Sometimes I wish he stood up for himself a little bit and at least spoke. He'd sit there silently, and I think that the point was he was resigned to his fate, and he was ready to give himself up for, I guess, all of our sins. Hey there, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Somebody, what's that name you have? I don't know what your name is, but it's got an X in it. Sent me $2. That was very kind of you. I appreciate that. Hey, Jaws just joined the Coffee Lovers crew. I appreciate that, Jaws. Your name will be in green. And Merry Christmas to you. Hello, Rose. How are you? Corinthians 1:1. Paul called to be an apostle of Christ, Jesus by the will of God, and our brother Sosthenes. It's interesting, some of the passages they pick out of here. And I'm reading them to you, hoping, I don't know, they're particularly good ones. But they're almost like just half sentences. And I'm not sure they're even particularly great half sentences. Let's go sit over there. I'm going to leave you on this happy little Christmas scene for a moment. Corinthians 14:1. Follow the way of love and eagerly desire spiritual gifts, especially the gift of prophecy. I'm not sure that we have the gift of prophecy, do we? I talk a lot about faith and gratitude, but I rarely talk about prophesizing. That'd be pretty neat. Maybe because I'm still in the Old Testament, when I get to the New Testament, somehow I'm going to learn to do some miracles, like prophesying the future. Let's see. These quotes are so corny, man. Well, you know what you do if you don't like the quotes? First of all, they're not mine. Maybe leave. I mean, do you want me to make you leave? Do you want me to block you? Does that feel good? Did you like it when your daddy gave you a spanking because you were bad? Is that what you do this for? Is it, seriously, is that how you got attention from your dad? By being a jackass? Maybe that's what motivates trolls. Let's see. Hello, Narendra. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you. Let's see. Pennywise is wishing a Merry Christmas as well. Let's see. Oh, the funny thing about me, I mean, there's probably a lot of funny things about me. I don't pretend to be Jesus-like at all, or not have a temper, or not get annoyed by people that hop on and say stupid things on my show. Because I'm just a flawed human being. So I have the freedom to call that person a jackass. It feels kind of good. I can be touched and I can think, what would Jesus do? And Jesus would say, turn the other cheek. But I'm not nearly as kind or sweet or as loving or as patient or as understanding as Jesus. So in some ways that is celebrating Jesus on this Christmas morning. Oh, that's nice. Again, I'm drinking the peppermint mocha this morning. Thought it fitting on this Christmas morning. I probably have one pot left of it in the bag in the cupboard. But I long for the pumpkin spice. I long for the pumpkin spice. It's going to be many months till the pumpkin spice gets back on the shelves. Somebody said we could all be more like Jesus Christ. Yeah. And I strive to be, but I'm also realistic. I mean, he was a far better man than me. Oh. But, so it's Christmas morning. I wonder how you guys are doing in Australia or England or other parts of the world. I wonder if some audiences I'm touching celebrate Christmas or if they don't. I know I have people that are Islamic that obviously, I wonder if they acknowledge Christmas. If you're like, I don't know, walking through Saudi Arabia, strutting your stuff, does anyone acknowledge this as the birth of Jesus? They believed he was a prophet, but not the Messiah, I believe. Hey, John B., how are you? You're listening to the morning show while you're at work. I haven't seen you in a long, long time, John B. I appreciate you're still here. In Australia, too. Well, I assume Australia is mostly a Christian country, and Britain. So they obviously celebrate, and France and Spain, Germany. I mean, they're most all Christian countries predominantly, aren't they? I wonder what if there's a fastest growing faith. Is it Islam or is it Christianity? You know, it could be a small one. The Old Testament would say abominations or pagans, But either way, I won't go there. I struggle because the New Testament is so kind and loving and good, and the Old Testament's so nasty and violent. I watched again the Passion of the Christ last night. I'm thinking, well, no duh, that it was a violent, nasty people. The Pharisees were horrible. The Jews all were screaming to have Jesus crucified. The crazy King Herod, who I don't know what he was. He might have been the first official member, according to the Passion of the Christ, of the LGBTQ community. He's the founding father, if you look at him. I didn't know what he had going on. But either way, he didn't think Jesus deserved to be crucified. He just thought he was crazy, as did the Romans. So it was the Jews. And again, it was a movie made by Mel Gibson, who's kind of famous for his what might be called anti-Semitic rants as he was being arrested for a DUI many years ago. So he obviously does have some strong feelings about Judaism and Jewish people, maybe. What do you think would be let's play a little game. Do I believe Jesus existed? I do. I actually asked ChatGPT that yesterday. Did I believe, or did Jesus really exist? And according to AI, historically, he almost certainly did. I hate to give AI the power of right and wrong, but it does take the issue of faith out of it, because I believe Jesus existed. And he exists in my mind as this ideal of perfection and me to strive for, and this perfect example of love. But did he walk the earth as a man? And he asked ChatGPT, and they say yes, and that's not based on faith. They don't say yes, definitely, and there's no like artifact, proof. But again, people of that time frame didn't own anything, or Jesus was just a poor carpenter. So what artifacts would be left from him would be nothing. Somebody's sending love to my live stream. You liked and commented to support. As a live streamer yourself right now, I truly feel the grind. Respect to the creator and everyone showing love in here. It's interesting you say that, because that's a big change of subject. How to Spell Mark hopped on. If anyone wants to check out his stream, don't all abandon my stream and go to follow How to Spell Mark. But I appreciate him hopping on and saying something kind, and maybe at the same time exposing his page to my audience, which I'm okay with. There's room for both. I doubt How to Spell Mark and I will have very much competing content. But I do wonder, do you find it a grind? Are you still there? I think I'd like to think I could give really good advice to almost anybody about almost anything. Why is there no record of Jesus in his 20s in the Bible? I don't know. Walking the earth, gaining faith. It wasn't time for him to do his thing. Hey, Merry Christmas, Mike LaMancha. Way to go taking your little ones to Mass. I hope you make it. I mean, you do anything you want, but I hope they enjoy it and don't look at going to church as dread. And I know most kids probably do, no matter what you do, but I really enjoy going to church. And if we learn to start enjoying, like I had that guy just hop on and say that content creation is a grind a little bit. I enjoy doing this, so it's really not a grind for me. It's taken longer to build my audience that I have. Working out, I enjoy. Going to church, I enjoy. Even going to work, I mean, some of my jobs, I've got 3 jobs. 2 of them I can't say I enjoy, really. But if I could, it'd be better. Oh, Vader Cakes is headed to his lady's house. Merry Christmas, Vader Cakes. I hope you have a wonderful day. Tell your lady, I don't know, something sweet. You're going to be sweet. I wonder how Vader Cakes woos a woman. Hey, baby. Merry Christmas. I wonder what Vader Cakes... That's one nice thing about not having a girlfriend. There was a lot of pressure in the gifts. I used to err on the side of spending a hell of a lot of money. Because usually, and don't deny it, ladies, usually if they spend a lot of money, it makes up for, you know, some things. Okay. All right, way to go, Mike. Great that you have a family custom of going to church, and that's nice. Somebody hopped on yesterday and was watching my show and mentioned that they were waiting for their wife to come down and go for their morning walk. And it almost made me not miss having a wife, because we didn't really have that custom. I think for me, my marriages were kind of sharing the labors. And it wasn't like, it was never 1 + 1 made 3. It was 1 + 1 made, 1.5 at best. And if 2 people that are together can't make each other better, but actually decline the value of each one a little bit, I don't think that's a good marriage. In my opinion, do I think money makes people happy? No. I believe there's a certain amount of money that gives one peace and comfort that I've been without at times. And that's not a good way. And you can be stressed all the time, wondering how you're going to pay your next bill or do this or that. And I'm still a little tighter than I'd like, but no, I think money definitely doesn't buy happiness, but being broke sucks. Because when you're broke, stress is magnified. The littlest things, taking a trip to buying groceries, taking a trip to, go for a car ride, you're worried about gas. And just having that consistent stress on you really weighs. I think for a single guy in America, you make $100,000, let's say. Anything above that almost doesn't provide any additional joy, or very little. Would I ever move to a Muslim country? No. Although I have a viewer occasionally who hops on. Where's he from? Where's he from? About a month ago, I was falling in love with my viewer, Narinder, because she told me she was Indian with a British accent. And I thought that sounded pretty sexy and exotic. And I had a viewer from somewhere in the Middle East, Dubai, maybe, was he from Dubai? Saying, oh, there's a ton of Indian women with British accents here, you should come here. So I got intrigued. So I might go visit Dubai, but I have no interest in moving to a Muslim country, I don't think. To be honest, I watched scenes from The Chosen or The Passion of the Christ, and that area of the world, I think, looks really ugly in my mind. It looks very dry and rocky. And I lived in Yellowstone last year, and as people say it's one of the most beautiful places in the world, I don't know. I mean, there were parts of it, certainly, but for the most part, it was very arid and brown. And I think the color green on trees and grass makes me feel like home. like it's home. And therefore, I have no interest in Texas or the Middle East or really anywhere out west. For me, I think what's important is being, I don't know, around, greenness makes me pleased and seasons make me pleased. Merry Christmas, Cathos. How are you? Miss Bunny went to Dubai on holiday for 2 weeks after a week. It gets boring. You can't lie. Well, I don't doubt it. What gets boring about it specifically? Somebody suggesting Seattle, Washington. Well, I don't only like rain and greenness, and Seattle might be a lot green or a lot rainy for me. The weather over in Dubai is very warm and dry. Yeah, I would have no use for warm and dry. Somebody suggests Greenland as an option. Are you saying that just because the word name is Greenland? Many people live out west because they have allergies. I've heard. Yeah, I know people move to Arizona and such because they have allergies, but I don't have allergies. Somebody said I look like Bang Ken from Stray Kids. That's not who I look like from Stray Kids. Who do I look like from Stray Kids? And I don't know why, because it's a Korean pop group. I just don't know how a 6'2" bald white dude could look like anybody on a K-pop band. Somebody wants us to take a moment for what Christmas is really about, and that is Jesus. We talk about Jesus a whole lot on my show, so we don't have to just do a timeout and take a moment for it. Yeah. Prince of Wales Island, Alaska is where you want to go. Huh. I don't think, I'll tell you again, I was in Yellowstone last year, and I was working for a company called Xanterra. And they run the business side of a lot of national parks, the hotel and the restaurant and the gas station or whatever else, the gift shop and things like that. And a couple of my coworkers went up to Alaska for the following season or a different season and sent back pictures. I don't think Alaska looks particularly cool at all, to be honest, from their pictures. Yeah, it just didn't. It didn't look pretty really at all. And they were at a national park, but I was a little surprised. I've got great footage from Yellowstone and some beautiful scenes and some moments where I'm riding through Lamar Valley, and there's, outside of all the cars on the road, on this little road that goes through Lamar Valley, it felt like I was in Dances with Wolves with mountains. So I guess it wasn't really Dances with Wolves. I think they filmed Dances with Wolves in South Dakota. But it was beautiful, and herds of buffalo, and yeah, it was real pretty. You are not living around bears. Yeah, I don't really want to live around bears. I mean, I thought it was cool, but I did feel kind of a steady fear that I might get eaten by a bear. Yeah. You think you can make the worst places look nice if you get the right pictures. Well, it's funny you say that, because one of the people that went is, he's got an Instagram page. And I think if anyone's looking and wants to look him up, his name was Gordon, and I think his Instagram page is Photo Gordo. PHOTOGORDO. Please look him up and send him a message and tell him Ken sent you. So he's not a professional, but he's a near professional. I don't know if it's a hobby or a career wannabe or just a passion, but he took some beautiful pictures in Yellowstone. And I think if there were beautiful pictures from Alaska, he had to work a heck of a lot harder to get them. Can I see family today? You are sad for me. Don't be sad for me. Why are you sad for me? Yeah. Yeah, don't be sad for me. What is my biggest and most important inspiration in my life? Um, on Christmas, okay, I'll say Jesus today. And I'm not even trying to be hokey. And I'm not even sure that I believe in Jesus or that I believe in God. But the hope that there was a man such as Jesus, just that hope and that possibility is my biggest inspiration. And I wake up every day and I feel burdened by the concerns of the world. But just having that glimmer of hope that there is or was a Jesus who loves me and who loves you is my biggest inspiration. Cathos Prime, I'm not, yeah, I appreciate you building up me up, but I'm not feeling bad at all. I love to be playing with my little ones. My big girls are with their mom in Michigan, and I don't know, I'll probably FaceTime them and I'll FaceTime my little ones, and I know it's not the same. What I feel bad for, honestly, is my little ones that don't get their dad up tickling them today and playing with them and chasing them around the house. I'm a big kid at heart, and I think knowing your father loves you is such an important part to being a healthy human being. And I don't want my little ones to not know that for a moment. So I worry for them. I'm not worried for me. I'll be okay. I'm a big boy. I'm excited about my day. Don't even know what it holds. But I do know I got a pot of coffee over there and I'm going to go get some more. Whew. I think a lot of you kind of miss the message that I'm saying. Maybe you're just not there yet. When you have faith, or even in my case, a glimmer of faith or a hope of faith, you don't really feel alone. Merry Christmas, Darla. How are you? Or is it Daria? I can't tell. How are you? It's hard not to have jobs on my mind. Been doing a lot of job searching. I'm probably relocating to Central Illinois. When I say it like that, it doesn't sound very exciting. I was just dissing the beauty of Alaska a little bit. And I'm moving to Central Illinois. But it's to be closer to my little ones. Their mama is relocating to a town in Central Illinois. Wow. Hey, someone else, thank you so much for that very generous gift. I guess they say money is meaningless. It might be meaningless, but I do appreciate the gift nevertheless. And that kind of answers the question of, does money buy happiness? And somebody named who watches my show sent me $20, but says money is meaningless. I will say it's not meaningless to a person that has little to none. Again, that first bit of money is really important because I've been there and been stressed and worried about, I paid for gas, barely got home last year from seeing my oldest get baptized, drove slow on the highway home so my gas wouldn't run out and paid for it by change because I miscalculated. Strangely, I moved up here the following week, but that was kind of the final nail in the coffin. Is oppressing women the only way to save the nuclear family? Well, what do you mean by oppressing women? I would say there's nothing oppressive with a woman staying home with the kids and raising kids or taking care of a home if she wants to. I don't think there's anything oppressive by the act. Forcing a woman to stay at home might be oppression. So we certainly shouldn't force women to stay home, but I think if more women did want to stay home and spend more time with the kids, yeah, that might be ideal in my mind. But it would take more income from the man. And it doesn't have to be, but I think it works best. I think I've been a stay-at-home dad before. And I think I did a pretty good job. But I think there's probably a reason for the stereotypical roles we have with a man going off to work and coming home and providing for the family while the mom loves on the kids and takes care of the home. I don't look at that as oppression. I think it'd be great if we wanted it, but if a woman doesn't want to do it, I don't think there's anything wrong with her or it's my place to tell her not to, if she wants to go to work or something. Heck, yeah, people ask if I pay my first wife alimony. She made more than me. Will I cook a Christmas goose? No. I don't even know if I'd want to eat a goose. There's too many of that on golf courses eating the chemicals that they eat. I don't really like eating things that aren't like cow or chicken. I often hear like, oh, buffalo, this is even better. And I shook on it. I ate moose the other day and I was chawing on it. Oh, wow. Someone else really likes when the fireplace is in the frame. Someone else, out of curiosity, you mean the way this is, or do you actually want a fireplace? You can buy me someone else because you sent me $30 so far. And if you really like the fireplace, are you okay with this little Christmas scene? It's got a tree and some Christmas music, so I think that's kind of neat. What about Australia? We only have deadliest snakes, crocs, roos, and many more friendlies. Your Christmas was yesterday. Jason said, please tell us how we can give you money. Well, why do you want to give me money, Jason? I mean, someone else is doing it for, I don't know why, but it's nice. I don't know. There's something on my screen called a super chat. I assume that's what someone else is doing. Aren't you someone else? A super chat, it's called, where you click on something and you can tip content creators, if you will. I am a server and a bartender, so I feel funny even thinking about it being a tip. I don't do this for tips. I do this because I like coffee. And who the hell else am I going to talk to this morning? You like the digital fireplace, someone else, not this specifically? Jason, that doesn't sound like I'm struggling. Jason, you're kind of throwing a negative vibe at me, and I'd rather you stop. So please stop, Jason. I don't want your money, and I certainly don't want your pity. So please stop. I find it insulting, and I think it's probably intentionally insulting. Oh, you're okay with this? Someone else? Again, I went to a Christmas scene this morning. Yeah, giving money away is liberating. And I tell you what, you give and it feels good. And it shows you're not a slave to money. But I think this Jason guy that's talking is doing it for bad motives. And I think they know they are. I don't think they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. I think they're doing it to mock me for some reason. Am I related to Ken Hughes? I do not know Ken Hughes. Well, someone else is really liberating the crud out of themselves with money. They sent 5 memberships. It kind of confuses me then when you do that. I appreciate it because those memberships cost money. And I do appreciate that. But now I'll have 5 people hopping on that will have green names. Someone else joined you into the club. And if you're enjoying your coffee with Ken, hit that like button. Yeah. Jason, if you're really out there and you really want to help, you can just double tap the screen and give me a like or subscribe. You don't have to keep saying how sad you feel for me. That feels insulting. You were just trying to help. You sure layered your help with pity. And I'm not sure why you do that. It seems so disingenuous. You almost got blocked. Still pumpkin spice? No, it is not pumpkin spice, but I kind of wish it was because pumpkin spice is way better than this peppermint mocha. I look like Christopher Luxon. I've heard that. Does everyone out there know who Christopher Luxon is? What national gas station brands have the best coffee? You're out. You've got to go grab a cup somewhere. Well, Kyle Bradley, if you're out, just go to the closest gas station by your house. I don't know which I believe if you're in Wisconsin, which is a long shot, there's something called a Quick Mart, or Quickie Mart, or Quick Mart or something. Quick Stop. I don't know. There's one down the street. I've heard they've got nice coffee. But unless you are in Wisconsin, I'd just go to the closest gas station and get yourself some coffee. Quickie trip. I'll tell you, if you have a Dunkin' Donuts around, I believe they're generally open on Christmas. They've got good coffee. Go there. You're in Spokane. Well, then just go get yourself some coffee. Go to the first place that's open. If you have a Dunkin' Donuts, go to Dunkin' Donuts. Merry Christmas, Ozzy Crosby. Quick trip. Someone else, that was very kind of you. That was very kind of you. By the way, I don't mean to diminish your generosity. That was very kind of you. I look like Devin Townsend. I don't know who Devin Townsend is. Let's see. Buc-ee's dark roast is decent. All right. But Buc-ee's is not a national chain. Look at that. We have all these green names. That was very generous of you, Sad Man Islam. Or not I apologize, of someone else. Not only did they send me $30, but they bought 5 memberships to Coffee with Ken. If anyone that has a membership, okay, we have a bunch of new members here. I would like to make it worthwhile. Right now, the only plus to being a member to Coffee with Ken is that you get your name in green. And I'll probably acknowledge you a little more if you get your name in green. But if anyone out there knew of anything anyone wanted to become a member, you know, a happy birthday song, once a month call to raise your spirits, whatever, I'd be happy to package membership into something that somebody might actually want. But I've just never been told by anybody that became a member that they wanted anything. Do we have Buc-ee's in Wisconsin? No, but they do in Texas, and they're a big deal. Merry Christmas, Viking Lloyd. It is a glorious audience. Do we have Jim Rat here today? Jim Rat likes to hop on and really acknowledge the glory of our audience. Buc-ee's is coming to Wisconsin. Well, I'm moving out of Wisconsin. Are they, wait, some channels use stickers or emojis for members to use in the chat. Like, what do you mean by that, Sad Man Islam? Jason, I think you're continue to insult me intentionally. If you do it again, I'm going to remove you from ever, because you said you're going to donate $20 in my honor and you hope my day gets better. What are you talking about? You're supposed to trust your gut, and Jason, you violated my feelings several times, and I've asked you nicely to stop. I don't think you're here for good intention at all. Or else you're just a weirdo. Name a country for an edit. I don't know what that means, naming something for an edit. They create their own emojis for the members, which only the members can use in the chat. How would I create an emoji? How would I create an emoji? I'm not an artist. Maybe just you create an emoji. And what would you use it in the chat for? I mean, I like the idea, Sad Man. You're actually giving me something specific you would like. You want me to create an emoji for you to use in the chat. Maybe I can look into it today on my Christmas. How did you spend your Christmas? Oh, I created emojis for my members, most notably Sad Man Islam, to use in my chat. How about emojis for different cup styles of coffee? I don't really know what that means. I'm one of those dudes that still uses the colon and the parentheses for a smiley face because I don't even really know how to use emojis. I'm gonna get a little more coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. Well, my show's called Coffee with Ken. Somebody has to get their ass together. What does that mean? I've never actually heard, I've heard you got to get your poop together, but I've never actually heard somebody say they need to get their ass together. An unjust person is an abomination to the righteous, and one who is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. Yeah. I think you're onto that a little, Randy. Yeah. Did I grow up religious? No, I wasn't taken to church as a child at all. Yeah, I wasn't taken to church really as a kid. And I don't know that we had a guy on earlier saying he's going to Mass. He's a Catholic with his kids, and I think that's really nice. I think it's nice if you can make it nice. And maybe I'm picturing the Norman Rockwell family going off to church and it being a happy event. I don't think I was raised in that type of family. I don't think my family was particularly joyful or happy. I think there was a lot of mental health issues in my family and a lot of baggage that my parents brought into their relationship, and it trickled down on me and my brothers and sister. Black coffee, that is what I'm drinking. That is what I'm drinking. You're very enjoyed. Greetings from Belgium. I'd like to go to Belgium. I'd like to cruise around Europe a little bit. I'd love to do it on a scooter. There's a tunnel from Britain to the mainland Europe, is there not? Like the Euro tunnel or something like that? Oh, happy holidays from Scotland. You know, you warm my heart when you hop on from Scotland. It's interesting because I was just about to talk about traveling around Europe, and I asked about the Euro tunnel, which I believe is like a 90-mile tunnel underneath the North Sea. What a construction project that must have been. I mean, I can't even fathom. They built a tunnel underneath a sea? I think they did. But anyway, I'd be sad if I went to Europe and didn't start in Scotland or Britain. Scotland, Edinburgh, maybe. That would be awesome. Okay, money doesn't buy happiness. But I'll tell you, if I had a bunch of money and didn't need to go see my kids and was just looking for something to do, like on a bucket list, I would fly to Edinburgh. I would buy some kick-butt scooter, and I would do a journey across Europe, staying at little towns and visiting cute coffee shops, and I think that would be an awesome, awesome couple months. It's called the Channel. Is that what it is? It is 9 a.m. It is 9 a.m. Oh, how fast is the speed limit in the Channel? I might be scared down there, like if a truck was behind me and they wanted to go faster and I wasn't comfortable going faster on my scooter. I'm not going to find better coffee shops anywhere in the world. Vienna is waiting for me. I would like to go to Vienna. Right now I have kind of a negative, and it's unfortunate because Austria to me was so connected to World War II and Adolf Hitler specifically. I would have kind of a haunted vibe about hanging out there. But again, that's just silly. I'm sure there's wonderful, beautiful people all over Austria. But when you say Vienna, I have a hard time thinking of Hitler not trying to become a painter there.
I am from the United States. I live in Wisconsin. We had a glorious audience. What a glorious audience. So peaceful with that music. I am very well, thank you for asking. What is Wisconsin like? Wisconsin's cool. Wisconsin's been good. I am here and have been here since February. I spent my life in northern Illinois in the western suburbs of Chicago. And I think Wisconsin's been neat for me. The people are good. The politics is, I wouldn't say middle of the road, but you get a good mix of left and right, conservative and liberal people. They got great coffee shops, tons of bars, a lot of passion for their sports teams. And it seems like kind of a simpler life up here. There's less keeping up with the Joneses. And I feel whether you make a ton of money or you don't, what really matters is if you're going deer hunting this weekend. And so the people are all kind of brought together with a feeling of community, surrounded just by, I would say, more simple pleasures than in the western suburbs of Chicago where I'm from. Wisconsin is like Ottawa. I've never been to Ottawa. Merry Christmas, Andrea. How are you? It is a great place to live. But I have an opportunity to be closer to my little ones. And I'm excited about that. They need their data. I don't know what I will do closer to my little ones or where I will live. I've looked at jobs ranging from a server to a bartender to a radio job to a social media coordinator job. I've looked at cities from Champaign to Springfield to Decatur to Bloomington. And I need to narrow down where I'm going to live and what I'm going to do relatively quickly. But I kind of feel some comfort in that things are coming together just as they're supposed to, and that we can plant the seed, but you need God to make the plant grow. Somebody says Wisconsin is the best place in the U.S. I'm surprised that I'm not more immersed in nature here. There is, again, I was in the western suburbs of Chicago. There are far more trees in the western suburbs of Chicago than there are here in Wisconsin, which surprises me. I don't know if the subdivisions, the communities around here don't plant trees. And granted, I'm living in a downtown commercial area, but even when I drive out and around, I do not see many trees here in Wisconsin. And you don't see many trees in central Illinois, but where I was living in the western suburbs of Chicago, we had big, beautiful trees all over. Do I own a cow? No. Hello from Ireland. How are you? What a glorious audience and a glorious show we've had this Christmas morning. We've talked for 69 minutes, and we've had a glorious audience. We got 48 people watching. We got 54 thumbs up, and we have $32 in the kitty jar, which is appreciated. Oh, I like that. Why can't a nose be 12 inches? I was going to ignore it. And I did ignore it, but then he gave me my punchline. Because then it'd be a foot. That's a good one. For those poor folk that are around the world on the metric system and don't understand that, there's 12 inches to a foot, which is our basic measurement of distance, I guess, here in the United States. Hello from Dubai. Are you really from Dubai? I wonder if you're really from Dubai. Could it be some viewer hopped on? I was just talking about Dubai a little bit. Somebody asked me if I could ever live in the Middle East. And I don't think I could or would have any desire to. It's like all man-made beauty, it seems, like beautiful architecture and man-made lakes and islands and things like that, which might be cool, just the awesomeness of man's ability to shape nature. But there's, I would think, a lack of beauty of God's nature there in terms of just brownness and desert. Oh, it's nice. That is nice. Oh. Merry Christmas, Nancy. How are you today? Hope your morning has started off wonderfully. Hope you got a good night's sleep. You're feeling good. And if you're not feeling good, don't worry about it, because I think a lot of us don't feel good from time to time, but there's ways to help. There's ways to turn that frown upside down. I'll tell you, just listening to this peaceful music is nice, and sipping on this coffee and having it still be just after 9 in the morning with the whole day ahead of me and really nothing planned. It's kind of nice. Did you just move to Oregon, Nancy? I wonder where you moved from. Wonder if you're going to like it out there. Oregon seems real pretty. I know they have a lot of nature. They have some mountains. They have a lot of rain and a desert on one side of the state and a lot of rain on the other. But I wonder what you're in Oregon for, or if you're going to like it or not. I'm thinking about where I'm headed, again, central Illinois. Oh, you're visiting your son. Okay, so it's just a temporary thing. Does he like Oregon, Nancy? Wonder how long he's lived there, what brought him, if he lives in Portland. I'm sure it's pretty. Wonder if the politics in Oregon are an issue at all. It's hard for me. Somebody suggested Seattle because I like green. But it's hard to distance myself from what I would call politics that I don't want of living on the West Coast, living in Seattle or Portland or a bunch of places in California. I like it here in Wisconsin because you get a good mix of left and right. You get both sides of people, but I think you get a lot less of that in the West Coast. You actually got a lot less of that in the suburbs of Chicago. He's in Eugene and loves it. Does he work for the university? Where's a great place to purchase vehicles from? Oregon? Plus, I love my Kia Soul. Good morning, Gordo Tex. How are you? How are you? A glorious audience. If you're new to my show, please double tap the screen. Give me a thumbs up. I think the powers that be at YouTube like to see that I got a lot of thumbs up and are more likely to push my show out to a broader audience if I get more likes. So if you're just hopping on, please double tap your screen. Let's get to 60 likes on this glorious Christmas, and this glorious day, and this glorious audience. Merry Christmas, Amber. How are you? How's your morning going? We got a little more coffee. I don't know how much longer I'm going to talk. If you guys want to chat any longer, if I should sign off. Not in a big hurry. My little ones are still sleeping. You were at the knee doctor and you saw your first Kia Soul. How have you just seen your first Kia Soul? They're all over. I can't believe they discontinued it. I think that just seeing the car makes me smile. It reminds me of like the Volkswagen Bug. It's just a happy looking car. You thought of me because you saw Kia Soul. I wonder what year you saw. You've never noticed them before. What's so funny, and I forget what they call that. If you would own a Kia Soul, you'd see them all over the place. You start noticing things. Greetings from Kurdistan. Oh, I have a thought about that. I've been watching a lot of movies. I'm fascinated kind of by World War II history. And I watched a lot of movies based on World War II. And for some reason, I've always been more intrigued by Germany's invasion into Russia. Yeah, they weren't the Soviet Union yet. And the war on the Eastern Front than the war in the Pacific, or even the D-Day even, as historically significant as that is. And somehow, some way, I've come across, and I'm being recommended movies from both Germany and Russia that were produced by the filmmakers of Russia and Germany about that time period and that war. And watching movies that were made in other countries is an interesting experience to me. And from like an American filmmaker's point of view, if you show, I don't know, probably either the Russia's soldiers or the German soldiers, they seem like robotic killing machines. And if you're watching a movie made in Russia or Germany about that same story, the soldiers they're humans. And not that they're even denying savagery was committed on both sides, because it was. But you're seeing the human side of that story in a way that I haven't seen. And I'm watching a movie started a couple nights ago I think it's called The Siberian Sniper. And it's about a man who's Asian, but he's Russian as well. And there's it's easy from the United States to forget that a lot of places in or around Russia are Asian, and that a large part of the Soviet Union were in fact Asian people. We had somebody hopping on from Kurdistan or something. Honestly, I do not know what the ethnicity is of Kurdistan, but the main sniper character is an Asian man who speaks Russian, and it's, to me, kind of interesting because that's not what I picture when I picture Russian people, if you know what I mean. My coffee is not hot right now, Fly Eagles. I need to go and get myself some coffee. Oh, that's nice. Oh, it was an issue. Kurds are Indo-European people with a very ancient historical background. I don't know what Indo-European means. I mean, is that Indian and European rolled into one? No doubt they have. But I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't understand that China would, I mean, or that Russia would have Asian people, because I mean, it's in Asia, a large part of it. But I think for most of us here in the United States, we picture European Russia. And I don't know what the demographics is of the country as a whole, but I think there's probably a lot more that isn't in Europe and is more of Asian ethnicity, whatever that means. Oh, that's nice. My audience is quieting down a little bit, and I mean, that's okay. It's still glorious with 38 people watching and 61 thumbs up. But maybe it's time to wind down my show. What chapter did I read last night? I read chapter 25 and 26, I think, from Deuteronomy. I'm almost resigned to just get through the Old Testament, which is hard because there's so much left to read. And I think I opened up the Old Testament looking for my heart to be touched because I'm reading the Bible, and it hasn't been touched reading the Old Testament. And I started becoming angry and bitter at the words that are in there because they're horrific. But yesterday I went to church, and I felt the goodness that awaits me in the Bible as the pastor spoke and the words were sung. So I look forward to that. But I have another 300 pages of Old Testament awaiting me. Oh, the horrors that await. Hello from Uganda. You were watching a rerun of my show. I think I did a really good show last night after I signed off. I watched the movie, The Passion of the Christ, and it moved me, and I did a show right after that, and I think it's probably got a lot of good stuff in it. And for anyone out there that hasn't seen The Passion of the Christ, it was a very powerful movie. You watch the reruns if I don't wake up in time. What would I rate the movie Kingdom of Heaven? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Oh. It's kind of peaceful, isn't it? That movie made you cry so much, you only watched it once, you couldn't watch it again. I found some inspiration from it watching the strength of Jesus as he faced the challenges that he had to face. I mean, calling them challenges would be an amazing understatement. The three wise men are from Kurdistan. They went to Jerusalem to congratulate Jesus. Am I on the second level or ground level? I'm actually on the third level. Am I going to see my family today? No, I'm not. I will, my older daughters are in Michigan with their mom, and they're at their grandma's house, and that's the wrong way. They'll be coming back to Chicago area this weekend, and I'm going to drive down there and see them at some point. My oldest daughter's off to Thailand in just a couple weeks, and that seems amazing to me. When the mom tried to help Jesus was intense, she said, I think it was all intense. It was horrific. I don't even know that she tried to help Jesus. And I thought about it while watching it, wanting them to try and stop the horrors that were going on. But that she followed along through what was going on during the movie. You know, I guess what's she gonna do other than try and stop it? But she was watching it all, from the whippings to the crucifixion to the beatings he was taken in the square. Was really, I mean, unimaginable to experience as a mother, I'd imagine. Do I use shampoo or lotion? I'm Mr. Clean with low T. You got too long of words. Somebody used the word Zoroastrianism. That's too long of a word for me. Da, ba, 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 ba. In your Friday live show, you said this is kind of your way to being a pastor and reaching people. I didn't know if I said it was my way of being a pastor. I'm just doing what I do. Why are commenters so mean? Because there's evil in the world, and there's mean people out there. And there are bad people out there. And you saw it in the Passion of the Christ. You would see some of the Romans, it was hard for them to watch or witness, or they struggled with the abuse that Jesus was being put through. But some of them had like a bloodlust, a mob rules viciousness. And you see that played out in some of the commenters on this stream, and I'm sure other streams, where viewers have nothing to do but say bad things. No, it's hard to imagine Schadenfreude. Is your name really Schadenfreude? And am I pronouncing it nice? Merry Christmas, Ball Striker. Where have you been? I don't understand Johnny the Monkey. Schadenfreude. Something along those lines of reaching people, talking about the Bible and sobriety. I appreciate that. You know, I don't think I'm a pastor, but, you know, I thought about careers, and it seems I'm pretty good at speaking and connecting with an audience. And I'm not like an expert on working out or Christianity, and I don't have a therapy degree, but I think I'm pretty good at telling my story, and my story seems to connect with a large audience. So when I talk about my own faith, like I had to remove that guy that keeps telling me that I need to repent and be born again. I'll tell you, he's one of those people that's trying his best to be a disciple and spread the word of Jesus, but he doesn't know how to do it. And he chases people around and hits people over the head with the Bible, saying they must repent, they must be born again, this and that. I'm trying to save you. And I think that's a turnoff for most of us. So I'm up here just kind of talking about my own experience. I'm not saying you need to convert, you need to go to church, you must read the Bible, you must repent, you must be born again and be saved. Because I think that just turns people off. I'm just telling you my experience of a guy that's been divorced, that struggled with issues, that's lost loved ones, that's felt fear and anxiety and has found faith through his fear and anxiety. And telling you my story. I still am open about my doubts and my questions, but I think my story is relatable. And that guy that I got tired of for 2 days had been telling me what I had to do to be saved. That's a turnoff. And yeah, it's just a turnoff. Merry Christmas. Loose Leaves is Loose Leaves, where have you been? Johnny said, Jesus died for my sins is a cop-out. Try taking personal responsibility for your mistakes. I don't know if you're talking to me, Johnny, or you're talking to everybody. You're wrong. Yeah, you're wrong. It's not a cop-out, it's a freedom. Because there's no amount of mess-ups. If you're trying to own up to your mistakes, you're going to spend the rest of your life owning up from your mistakes and wallowing in self-loathing. And believing in Jesus, I think, frees you up from all that stuff that you can't carry because it's too much. You know, we all do things that aren't perfect all the time. And if you're trying to own up to those mistakes all the time, you're never going to be able to move forward. Good morning, Kat Connor. Thank you, Loose Leaves. You think you're black. I don't know what to say about that. You think you're black. Should I get a little more coffee? Are we having fun? We got 49 people watching. We got 69 thumbs up. I could probably get a little more coffee. I don't really have a whole heck of a lot to say, but I don't really have a whole heck of a lot to do today. I was almost thinking, since it's Christmas, of scheduling like a few different Bible readings through the day, and maybe reading a couple chapters at noon, a couple chapters at 2 and 3 and 6 or something like that. And I do it because it's Christmas and because I have nothing else to do and the stores are closed. But the irony is, Jesus isn't in the Bible that I am reading. You know, it's the pre-Jesus books that I'm reading right now. And maybe it'd be moving us as an audience closer to Jesus by diving through the Old Testament and digging our way through it. Gordo says, what do I mean? I don't know if you're talking to me, Gordo. What do I mean? I read a couple chapters of the Bible every night. Yeah, no, I've been reading a couple chapters of the Bible every night. And I'm not going to skip ahead for one day to the story of Jesus' birth. Yeah, I won't be skipping ahead. I'm going to take it page by page because that's what I'm meant to do. No, I'm not going to skip ahead. I won't even know where to find the story of Jesus' birth. Plus, we all know the story of Jesus' birth. What most of us don't know are the words written in the Old Testament. And I think that's been interesting for me. Again, and it's brought up more question and almost more anger at it. And I am open about my struggles reading those words because the words in the Old Testament and the things God commands the people of Israel to do are horrible. Good morning, Apartment 420. Merry Christmas to you. How are you? You have a Russian education system, so it won't suit you. The best solution is just to go and relax. I don't know what that means. I certainly don't plan to travel to Russia. I mean, I don't really have any great desire to go to Russia. No one will listen. That is my task. MB, you don't know what my task is. You're not here to give me a task or a purpose. Merry Christmas, Sanford. How are you? Sam said sacred scripture was written in a bunch of different things. I'll tell you what, that really hit me over the head last night as I was watching The Passion of the Christ and seeing them. Again, I was looking for an English version. I did not know that all the words were in Aramaic or Latin or whatever. And was surprised by that. I couldn't find an English version of it, but eventually I found one with subtitles. Tomorrow's your birthday, tomorrow's your birthday, and coincidentally 200 days off alcohol. Way to go, Apartment 420. You are the man. Got a couple people to keep hopping on and sharing whatever journey with me. There's like in Apartment 420's case, it'd be his sober journey. I wonder, Apartment 420, what your thoughts are. Are you struggling? Do you miss alcohol, or have you just kind of turned off that part of your life? Again, we have a glorious show today. It doesn't get much more glorious than this, with 76 thumbs up and 50 people watching and $33 in the kitty. I hate to sound like a Bible verse. It doesn't really matter the name, whether it's Jesus or Yeshua or whatever name you put on it. I don't know why we would be debating the language that the word Jesus is from. Loose Leaves, you'll get me a cup of coffee for Christmas. It's right over there. You want to come and get it? I'm going to go get a little more. We'll talk for a little longer. You struggle. You had huge moments of guilt, tripping myself after being disconnected for the last 10 years, but you'll get over it. So you struggle with guilt. And again, somebody said earlier that Jesus dying for our sins is a cop-out, and I disagreed, and I still do. The best way for you to be more Jesus-like, or to let go of the evils that are alcohol, is relieve yourself of that guilt. That guilt is just going to tie you down and stop you from being the best version of yourself. You know, apologize to anybody you feel you need to. But I think the person you got to forgive most is yourself. Because God's forgiven you, apartment 420. So maybe it's time you forgive yourself. Oh. Yeah, make it your goal today. That's what Christmas is. Yeah, no, because when you're carrying that, it's hard to move forward, become more Jesus-like, live your best version of your life. I think we have all done things that aren't great, and we do them all the time. We lust, we covet, we are angry, we lash out. But the sooner we let go of all that sin, the better we can be, and the closer we can be to, I don't know, living a life like Jesus. Is marijuana legal where I'm at? No, not in Wisconsin. It was legal in Illinois. It was illegal for most of my life, and I used to smoke it every day. And I stopped almost at the same time. When it became legal in Illinois, I stopped smoking it. Merry Christmas, Nick. How are you? You are in Minnesota. Joshua 1:9, be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee wherever thou goest. All right. Is the Mag Mile safe? You mean in Chicago? Sure. Hello from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. How are you? How are you? So peaceful here. So quiet outside. Merry Christmas from the UK. You will be in Chicago tomorrow. Well, I hope you have a wonderful trip. I'm sure the Mag Mile is going to be just lovely. Probably have a hard time finding parking. When you do, it will probably be very expensive. And I don't know what the crowds will be like, but it's a really neat area. The Bears game was rough for my team. I don't know what you mean. You already paid for parking? I don't know how you already paid for parking. Well, then enjoy your trip. You don't even have to worry about it. I lived right down there. So I parked in the building that I lived. You know, I lived right on the Mag Mile or a block from it. Spot Zero app. All right. Is it Christmas Day where I am? Yes, it definitely is. Oh. You wish you had the peace that you have now. You miss your family. I'm hungry and I'm going through a struggle right now. I would do anything to have a place like yours and quiet that you have. It didn't happen overnight. I appreciate you sharing that. You know, for a long time I was struggling, even when I had money. So it's not necessarily material things. Where does it start? For me, it started 6 years ago, and I was living in a dark apartment. I wasn't living in peace. I was afraid to be there by myself. The only way I found peace was drinking alcohol and smoking weed. And the problems kept piling up. And I'd always heard you can give your fears and worries to God, but I never tried. And I said, God, I don't even know if I believe in you, but this is more than I can handle. I'm going to stop trying to carry it all on my own. And that was a key step for me. And I would recommend, if you're struggling right now and you need to turn that around, you probably got a lot of negative thoughts in your mind about yourself, and a lot of guilt and a lot of shame and a lot of self-loathing. But you can let that go, but you got to want to let it go. You know, I come up here and I'll tell people to flip on positive affirmations and go for a walk. I don't think anybody ever listens to me. But if you're ready to let it go, you can. But you probably won't until you're ready to let those feelings go. Am I by chance a mad scientist? No. America is one of your favorite countries to visit one day. It's a big country. There's so much in America, though. You know, if you want mountains, you want cities, you want beaches, there's so much. You know, you go to Dallas, Texas, it's going to be nothing like visiting Los Angeles, California, or New York City. So it'd be hard to visit just because it's such a big country filled with so many different types of, you know, a lot of people ask where I'd want to travel. There's so many places in the United States I haven't been to. I was talking about it yesterday. I think Vermont's probably an awesome place. But nobody's from around the world is going to go to Vermont, just because you probably never even heard of Vermont. But it's a tiny little state in New England. It's probably beautiful. Christmas greetings to you, Chip. How are you? Again, we've had a glorious audience today. An absolutely glorious audience. You're watching from Kazakhstan. Well, welcome from Kazakhstan. How are you today? Have you ever seen the movie Siberian Sniper or Red Ghost? Or there was a movie I saw about Mikhail Kalashnikov that I thought was pretty good the other day. What is the greatest video game of all time? Space Invaders. Jennifer wants to know where Kazakhstan is. I believe it's a Russian province. It might be its own country now. It's hard to keep up, honestly. Somebody suggests Galaga. I wouldn't even put Galaga in any close to Space Invaders, because Galaga's just a step away from Space Invaders. Galaga wasn't first, and I'd almost say Space Invaders, yes, Pong, but Space Invaders was the first video game in my mind. Galaga's just kind of, okay, we'll take Space Invaders and we'll make the ships drop down, which is fun. But again, it's just a step away from Space Invaders. Space Invaders really was the beginning. Kazakhstan is in Central Asia, but it is a Russian province, or is it an independent country now? You haven't been showing up here. No need to apologize. We don't take attendance here. It was funny. I was substitute teaching the other day, and I was taking attendance. I was actually nervous about doing it at first. Zaxxon also copied Galaga. I forget what Zaxxon is. Well, thank you, Kathos. It's been its own nation since the fall of the Soviet Union. Okay. All right. Same with the Ukraine. Well, I'm aware about Ukraine. Oh. Mm-mm. So peaceful. Well, I don't know how much more I have for you. It's certainly been a very glorious show. 6 million seems like a lot. I don't know what you mean. Your wife is Ukrainian, great people, I'm sure. You ended up having your first sleepover a couple days ago. I do not know what you're talking about. Your first sleepover. Perhaps you hopped on my show a few days ago and we talked about having a sleepover, but I do not remember. What Bible chapter am I reading this week? Well, Kat, I don't read a chapter. I read 2 chapters every night. And I've been reading from the book of Deuteronomy this week and the last couple of weeks. And I'm about 10 pages away from being done with Deuteronomy. Part of me, because I don't have a whole heck of a lot going on, and it is Christmas. Thanks. I might hop on a couple times and read a few different, a little bit more than just 2 chapters, but I'm not sure. Have I been to the Ukrainian village in Chicago? I think I have. I don't remember. Is it on the safe side? We want to see it. I don't know if it's on the safe side. I don't happen to know where the Ukrainian village is, but go see it. I'm telling you, I used to live next to a area called Cabrini Green. And that was one of the most dangerous areas in the country. And I used to drive through there. You'll be fine. Don't worry. Don't fear. You know, I wouldn't walk around some neighborhoods in Chicago, but you're not going to accidentally fall upon them. Go to Ukrainian Village. You'll be just fine. Merry Christmas, Andre. How are you? What religion would I turn to if Christianity disappeared one day? I don't think I'd have to change religions. I'd continue to pray. I'd continue to believe in a higher power. And I'd continue to know that we're all forgiven. I don't follow Christianity per se. You know, I go to a Christian church. Feels good. Uh-oh, I might have to sneeze. Oh. Wow, I've almost drank a pot of coffee. We've almost talked for 2 hours. It is one of the most glorious shows. Merry Christmas to anybody that's wishing it to me that I missed. Hawaii is your favorite place in America to visit. If you're looking to visit America, I wouldn't go to Hawaii. You know, I think Americans should go to Hawaii, but I mean, Hawaii is not like any other place in America. You know, I mean, go to wherever you want, but to me, Hawaii is a very specific spot. And if you want to experience America, I wouldn't pick Hawaii at all. I'd go to Chicago. I guess I'd go to Chicago. If you want to experience America, you're not going to see mountains in Chicago, but you're going to be in the heart of it with good people that work and do good things, and you're going to see beautiful buildings and architecture and museums and a beautiful lake. So you get so much in Chicago. Hawaii is kind of a thing of itself. Somebody said visit Florida. It's better and cheaper. Hello, Cactus Queen. How are you? Am I a teacher? What do I teach? I'm a substitute teacher. I've worked as a substitute teacher 7 days. And I've substituted a science class, a few special ed classes. But mostly I'm making little kids that have special needs feel important and loved and safe when they go to school. You've never been to America before and you're not sure where to go. Well, there's a bunch of places to go. And I think you're going to have a hard time. It's such a big country. If you fly into Chicago, you're not going to be able to just go to the mountains in Denver. It's, a 24-hour drive. I think to explore America, you'd need a lifetime. Because there's different cultures and accents and scenery in so many different places in America. What's kind of nice about like Europe, and I might be wrong, but somebody was on from Belgium earlier. If you went to Belgium, you'd get a pocket of Belgians, and probably the architecture and the dialect and the faith and the vibe of that country is all in one. It's all Belgian. And if you hopped over to Holland, it'd be a little different. And then if you went to France, it'd be a little different. But the United States is such a big country that there's, you can't, there's so many places I haven't been in the United States. Have I ever been to Turkey? I haven't, but I think it'd be probably pretty neat. It's neat that it's a European/Asian Muslim country, and I bet it's pretty beautiful. Is it morning here? Yes, it is. It's just about 10 o'clock in the morning on Christmas. Got a great night's sleep, feeling calm, feeling at peace, feeling relaxed, feeling like I have to pee a little bit because I drank a pot of coffee and talked for about 2 hours. Oh. It is 3 o'clock in the UK. It's nearly bedtime. How's it nearly bedtime at 3 o'clock? The pubs are just opening up on this Christmas. Are the pubs open today? On Christmas? I bet you there's some that are. I really give a positive vibe. Well, thank you. I hope that I do. I honestly don't expect to find myself in Turkey anytime soon, but I'm sure it's lovely. Sure, it's lovely. You went to, in Turkey, the people were amazing. A lot of positivity about Turkey. Let's see. Good morning, Scott Baran. How are you, my man from Nova Scotia? I'm just about to sign off in a bit. Am I full American? I don't know, what does it mean to be full American? Yeah, I don't know what it means to be American. In America, we say, we describe our heritage by our parents. My mother grew up in Scotland. And so I'm half Scottish. So I don't know what it means to be full American. You know, I guess if you were to be a full American, you'd either be what's called a Native American, or I guess the PC term these days is indigenous people. Sadman, no need to apologize. You do whatever you have to do. I just thank you for being on. And I'd like to give a shout out to someone else who was very generous and signed 5 people up for membership to my page today. That was very kind of him. Brandon said he feels poopy for Americans. See, Brandon, I just don't believe that. Whenever anybody, like I had a guy on, or it was probably a woman who was a troll, saying how she feels sad for me earlier. You don't feel bad for Americans. That's pity. There's no reason to feel bad for Americans. Here in America, we are doing great. And I believe whenever you say you feel crappy for Americans, it's based in jealousy. And I really mean that, because again, I had somebody hopping on saying how sad they felt for me. They didn't feel sad for me. They wanted to insult me. And when you say you feel crappy for Americans, you are insulting people that live in America, that are having great days and are thankful for all the blessings we have and don't want to live anywhere else in the world. You said, trust me, Canadians are not jealous. I'm not saying Canadians are jealous, Brandon. I'm saying you are jealous. And you are. You wouldn't hop on and say you feel bad for Americans without having some sort of envy in your heart. It just comes from a place of envy, because it's intentionally insulting people that live in America. You don't feel bad for Americans. Why do you feel bad for us? I live in a free country. I can do whatever I want. I love what I do. I live in a beautiful place. So why would you feel bad for us? Again, I think it comes from envy. You too, Big Bubba. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you. Second place always hates first. They do. Again, I don't know why. I discuss this because I get people attacking America all the time. And I go, why do you care? We don't care about your country. Like, I'm not sitting here ridiculing Turkey or Kazakhstan or Britain or Scotland or Belgium. And I've had viewers from all of that. So for some reason, and those people weren't ripping on the United States. Those people weren't ripping on the United States, but occasionally you'll get a viewer that hops on and say how much they feel sorry for us. And that they do not. That is a feeling of lack in their heart, that they're not comfortable with where they live. Because if they were, they'd be just loving where they live. And I'm just sitting here loving where I live, so I'm not ripping on Kazakhstan or Turkey or other parts of the world. But when somebody hops on and says they feel sad for the people in America, it's just not true. Ba, 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 ba. Any family, I have 4 beautiful kids. My family's gone through a lot over the last 5 years. I lost my mom, my brother, and my sister in the last 5 years. And I have one brother left. He lives in Texas, and my dad moved down to Texas. Lives near him in a retirement community. I guess that's what you call it. But I have 4 beautiful kids. A couple of the girls are in Michigan with their mama, and a couple of my little ones are in central Illinois, where I'm gonna hopefully get to soon. Merry Christmas, Car Trap. Where am I? Wait, let's see. I'm in Wisconsin. Where am I? I just said I'm in Wisconsin. Let's see. Wisconsin is a state just north of Chicago. Somebody was on gonna visit Chicago. They could almost come up and see me. Sharp increases in Islamic terror in those Western European countries over the last decade. What do I suppose that's about? I don't know anything about the sharp increases in Islamic terror. You're in Milton Keynes. Kazakhstan is Borat's home. Somebody's in Norfolk, UK. We get a lot of people from Britain on my show. We're having just such a glorious audience today. It's amazing. Narinder's making fun of you, Jason. I mean, it's not surprising. I got a person that's started off by acting like they felt sorry for me and called me a loser for being here on Christmas. Yet here they are 2 hours in watching me and saying mean things to me. Good morning, Tanya. How are you? Jeff Bezos. I don't know that I look like Jeff Bezos, other than the new Jeff Bezos has big muscles. When I found Jeff Bezos, it was probably 30 years ago, or 25 years ago at least, on CNBC, and Amazon was just a fledgling bookseller online, and he had this big hearty laugh, and they used to kind of, not mock it, but get a kick out of his laugh. And that's what I remember of him. And now when I see him, he's got these huge muscles. It's really weird. Well, it is 10:08, says my phone. And it is Christmas morning. We've had an amazingly glorious audience. And I so appreciate you for joining me today. Hope you're having a great Christmas morning. Whether you're alone or spending it with family or what have you, I hope you're at peace and feeling calm and loving yourself because God loves you. And you're forgiving yourself because you are forgiven. And you're feeling good. Again, you're at peace. And I'll give a plug for my videos. I may or may not hop on and read chapters of the Bible a few times today. I'm certainly going to read a couple chapters of it later. I might do it a few times to maybe move us closer to Jesus because we're in Deuteronomy. So anyway, again, I thank you so much for joining. We've had a great audience. Hope you are feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.